Connecticut is lobbying to have illegals eligible to vote. I guess it's a two-part question. Number one, if we know a person is illegal and has broken our law, why don't we address that individual person and say, you broke our law, you should go back instead of aid and abet a criminal? And number two, I'm not so sure I completely understand your position on scholarships for illegals in Texas where out-state have to pay out-state.
Here's, let me address the issue. None of this is going to get addressed until we secure the border. That's the biggest issue that has to be done. For a decade, over a decade, I've been dealing with this as the governor of the state of Texas. In 2006, I loaded up our border sheriffs, most of who belong to the different political party than I did. But they understand the issues and how their counties were being impacted by the federal government's total lack of responsibility when it comes to securing the border. And we've gotten, poor response at best. I mean, President Obama came to Texas earlier in the year in El Paso, and he made the statement that our border was safer than it had ever been. I thought he was talking about the Canadian border. But the fact is, it's not as safe as it's ever been. I've directed our Texas Ranger recon teams that we formed, our other law enforcement, our game wardens. We have two very large bodies of water, Lake Falcone and Lake Amistad. And we have put substantial resources, some $400 million worth of Texas taxpayer money over the last 3 legislative sessions to help secure the border and to help those local law enforcement. And we don't have the resources to, that's a 1,200-mile border. And then it's another 800 miles on to the Pacific. And we got almost a 2,000-mile border that we've got to defend and we got to secure and we got to shut down before we can even address these issues of how all of the different states have to deal with. Arizona's getting sued, Alabama's getting sued. I'll promise you one thing. As the President of the United States, you won't see my Justice Department suing states for trying to put immigration laws into place. Let me address this issue that you asked about the illegal immigrant child in Texas and the program that was passed in 2001. These kids, by almost every indication I can find, they were brought into the United States by they didn't say, I'm going to go to Texas and get an education. They were brought there by their parents. And the federal government requires us to deliver health care and deliver education. I mean, that is federal mandated activity by every state, not just Texas. And so we had a choice to make in our state, which has a substantial population of individuals who have been brought across illegally. And that was this. We could either kick them to the side of the road, so to speak, or we could require them to get in line to get their citizenship and have them pay full in-state tuition to go to a university, community college, etc. And the reason that decision was made is because what the members of the legislature looked at was we're either going to create taxpayers or we're going to create tax wasters. And the legislature, by overwhelming margin of 181 members of the legislature, there were only 4 dissenting votes. So the people of the state of Texas clearly said, this is how we're going to deal with this. And those kids are required to be working on getting their citizenship. And then when they get out, they'll be contributing members of our society rather than being a further drag on the society. So that is a state issue that was decided by Texas. One of the ways that we address that in this country is by securing our border and stopping the flow of illegals. And I think that, and then addressing and enforcing the laws, as you said earlier, banning sanctuary cities in these states. But the real key to it is always going to be to secure the border. You secure the border, and these problems eliminate themselves over a period of time. And we know how to secure the border. I mean, the issue of securing that border. I've made the pledge that within a year of taking office, that we will have the boots on the ground, the strategic fencing in place, and the aviation assets committed to that border. With the Predator drone type technology where you can look down 24/7 through all types of conditions and identify what's going on the border, and have fast response teams that can move very quickly to the border to stop any activities that are going on, whether it's legal activities or illegal activities. And at that particular point in time, we can shut that border down. And these issues that have been real challenges for all the states will start to be alleviated.
One more.
Yes.